Good morning, Fed Phoenix fam. So I'm down to like 19 days and 2 hours and some change before I gotta self-surrender. And just doing a little check-in real quick. You know, expect the unexpected. Definitely expect the unexpected. And as you get further down to the wire, you realize that your window of time to get things done and prepare and whatever is closing in on you. You know what I mean? You're running out of time, and that indefinitely will create a little bit of panic, a little bit of anxiety. Especially because life is funny, and there's a saying, pressure breaks pipes. So it breaks people if it breaks pipes. But you got to really take the pressure in stride. A couple days ago, I was doing, something with my children, and I was struggling because, I was really having a hard time putting aside the thoughts about, even though my children were having a good time, my time with them was very limited. And the thing is you can't let the fact that your incarceration is impending stifle you and preoccupy you to the point that you can't live enough in the moment to get what you should be getting out of the moment, to get for your loved ones to get what they should be getting out of it. Because I can assure you, if you're distracted, or you're stressed or you're whatever, anxious, the people around you, especially those close to you, like your family, are going to pick up on that. And that's really going to take a lot away from what could be making good memories, what could be having, quality time together. And you have to really kind of learn to compartmentalize that. And it's not easy, but you have to find a way to make yourself do it. And really, it's almost like good practice, because once you get in prison, you're going to have to really, really, really master the skill of compartmentalizing your emotional status to do what you need to do in real time, in the day-to-day, you know what I mean? And to get by and really kind of push through and keep it moving. And, and for me, like, I'm realizing that I got a lot of bad timing happening. Like, I got designated to the prison I was hoping to get designated to. But it just so happens that this particular prison happens to be having a whole lot of just unusual craziness going on right now, with lockdowns and commissary shortages. And, it's if you're going to go to prison, I've said for a while, that the prison I'm going to is the one you should opt to go to if you can. But, it just happens to be a bad time to be at that prison. I had a rip in my abdominal wall, my muscles, and I had surgery a little while back on that a couple months ago. Well, now my abdominal wall has ripped open again. So I got to get a scan in a couple days to see what type of tissue is pushing through this tear. Is it fatty tissue? Is it organ tissue? Is it intestines? And make the determination of, if I get another abdominal wall surgery, like immediately, so I'll be going into prison fresh out of surgery, so no pain meds, high risk of infection, that kind of thing. Or if it's something I can put off until I come home in a couple years, which is crazy bananas, to say the least. I mean, there are a lot of little things that I did to prepare, or, kind of went the way that I was hoping they would, but the timing is just really starting to get shaky. The timing on a lot of things is really just, kind of crazy. Like, I just, I laugh about it because, what else can you do? You know what I mean? I don't have the luxury of sitting down and feeling sorry for myself. I got to keep pushing. I got a lot to get done in these next 19 days. And, I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time to sulk and be depressed, or I don't have time to let the anxiety get overwhelming and have a little breakdown for 4 days and, just isolate myself and watch Netflix. I don't have that luxury. Not if I want to set myself up for the best possible scenario in regards to being able to do my time, and the best possible scenario regarding, my situation when I re-enter coming out of prison. So, I got to take it on the chin and take it in stride. And, and that's something that I would imagine anybody in this situation has to deal with, and has to juggle, and has to balance. And it's hard. And another thing too, that's been on my mind heavy lately is, periodically, you're the CEO of your life. I firmly believe that. I tell everyone I know that, when they have situations, Yeah, bad things happen to good people and whatever, but at the end of the day, the majority of what goes on in your life is a direct result of choices you've made, or who you choose to associate with, or how you associate with people. And so I'm finding that some circumstances and some relationships and whatnot are not what they should be in my life. And a part of me wants to just kind of go into like default mode of, well, I'm going to prison soon, so now's a really bad time to shake the pot, or to stir the pot, or switch up dynamics, or try to establish different boundaries or new boundaries with people or situations. But you know what? F that. Seriously, I'm the CEO of my life, just like you're the CEO of your life. And at the end of the day, no matter how inconvenient the timing of it is, if situations or relationships need to be reevaluated and restructured, for my peace and my happiness and my growth, then that's what I'm going to do. Even if it is inconvenient for me and inconvenient for others. And even if it is something that potentially, will jeopardize, you may have some situations or some relationships in your life that are kind of at a rocky point, but you're about to go to prison and you're like, I don't want to, poke the bear, because what if I lose these beneficial, situations? What if I lose these supportive, to some degree, relationships? But you have to really weigh, what is your peace worth? What is your peace worth? And at the end of the day, my peace is worth so much, because without it, I have nothing. I can't do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I have to maintain peace in my life. And it's crazy because, like, a lot of having peace in your life is the fact that you're the CEO of your life. You're in control. And going to prison, you're going to have no control over dang near nothing in your life. Like, very little control over anything. I said it before in the some other videos. An interesting thing that I have found out years ago, a couple years ago, was the average person in the free world makes it's something like 7,000 minute decisions every day. I mean, little small decisions. What time are you going to get up? Are you going to hit snooze? Are you going to hit snooze again? Are you going to, do this? Are you going to do that? What kind of coffee? Cream, sugar, flavor? You make all these decisions. Your day-to-day life, that when you're awake, is spent mostly just making a series of decisions. And making subsequent decisions as a result of the outcome of the previous decisions. But an incarcerated person only makes it's something like 100 choices a day, 100 decisions a day, which is part of the big factor in how people become institutionalized. If you go from making thousands of insignificant, minute decisions a day, right? And then your brain gets conditioned to only make 100 decisions a day. When you come back into the free world and you're back in a situation where you have to make thousands of decisions a day, most of which you don't even think about while you're making them, but now you are going to think about them when you make them, because you're out of the habit of just impulsively or instinctively making decisions. It's very easy to become overwhelmed and, and kind of, get a little anxiety, get a little panic, get a little, a lot of discomfort, some paranoia. And so, it's like, I'm trying to balance letting go, I guess, a little bit of the decision making in my day-to-day life. Like, I'm trying to have my life be more structured and more uniform and just involve less decisions. It's kind of like I'm trying to wean myself off of the control and the decision making abilities in my normal free life, so that when I become incarcerated, it's an easier adjustment. And then I plan to, before I come home, to start consciously finding ways to create more choices in the day-to-day life and the routine for myself, to consciously make, so that when I come home, the transition from very little choice and control to a lot of choice and control, there's some kind of bridge between these transitional points of going into prison and coming out of prison for myself. And a lot of the decisions, that I could be making, I'm kind of struggling to make, because I'm I really, it's not like if I decide that I don't want to be involved in a situation anymore, at this point in my life, that 6 months from now, I can change my mind and do whatever needs to be done to get the situation, afloat and going and running again. No, I'll be in prison. I won't have that option. It's not like if at this point I decide to to create structure and relate more structure or boundaries in certain relationships, or to cut those relationships off, that in 6 months, if I decide that was a bad idea or just not the smart or right thing to do, that I can show up at somebody's house and, talk it out and, go do things and bond together and repair and rebuild and reestablish. No. Matter of fact, any situations or relationships that kind of fizzle out or you cut off, right before your incarceration, are probably going to remain dead during your incarceration. And depending on how long you're incarcerated, the longer you're incarcerated, the more likely that when you're not incarcerated, you can actually do something to revive these things if you feel like you need to resurrect them. It's going to be more difficult and less possible. So, it's just a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot on my mind, a lot. I don't even know what else to say about that. But definitely, don't take your own happiness. Don't be a thief of your own peace and your own joy. Because like I said a couple of days ago, my kids, I certainly was having a hard time staying out of my head. And allowing myself to be in my head and my thoughts would have made that event with my children just really stressful and uncomfortable and sad. And I really pushed through the best I could so that way it could be something enjoyable and something memorable in a good way and something comforting and something when I'm sitting on my bunk at 3 a.m. thinking about life in prison, a memory I can look back on and not be, like, dang, I really wish I would have been more in the moment. I really wish I would have been able to compartmentalize better and get out of my own thoughts more, and be more invested. I don't want those kind of regrets. So, at this point, I'm definitely, kind of, I don't even want to say struggling with, but kind of, trying to condition myself mentally for the lack of control I'll have over my life while I'm incarcerated. And also trying to condition myself mentally to just become more effective at compartmentalizing my thoughts and my feelings and how I process things. You know what I mean? Working on that poker face. So, I don't know if this video has been of any benefit to anyone. I hope that maybe somebody will see this and be like, dang, that's kind of what I'm going through too, or I get it. And it'll be helpful and supportive. I don't know. If you like the video, feel free to subscribe, hit notifications if you want to see new content when it drops. As you all know, in about 19 days, I'll be self-surrendering to federal prison, where I will spend a couple years of my life. And I'll be documenting that journey up until that point on this YouTube channel. When I go to the halfway house, if I go to the halfway house, I'll pick up documenting on the YouTube channel about my prison experience and my halfway house or re-entry experience. Or if I don't go halfway house when I come home, I'll continue to make content about what my prison experience was like. And, in my journey as I go through re-entry and rebuilding my life. So, good day. God bless. And I'll holler at you later.